Fruitvale Station is a biographical movie about Oscar Grant's path towards his immediate death by the police officers on New Year's Eve 2009. It was an unjust death that led to the police officers getting the sack. The plot is structured in a way that builds up the characters in the movie and makes us feel sympathy and understanding towards them in the movie's zenith, the real event in the Fruitvale Station which the whole movie is based upon. So there's no question about it. The characters involved in the movie are there to accompany us to the movie's finale. How everything is set is probably the stereotypical of the new modern type of lower class families. So it's a mixed race couple, way too young to actually know how to establish a functional livable environment and provide for the child. Even though Oscar Grant seems to care about his child, he's still absent most of the time and the parenting is mostly done by the single mother. Language. Oscar Grant was a criminal in real life and was involved in some shady things, so this language used in the movie is an important part, and there's clearly a shifting and speech combination of language in the movie. First of all is how he speaks at home. It's pretty much a lower class, trashy, black Hispanic language. And there's when he's working at the supermarket, he tries to convergence to a more standard English in the American society, and how he's with his thuggish friends is a more like thuggish gangster type of language. And the message of the movie is clearly about the social injustice that he had to endure, and his family as well, by the American police officials. But there's a divide in America by how to encounter big government, the police training, and the gun laws. If you look into the American history, there's a huge skepticism about the governments holding much power. The Constitution of the United States pretty much adopted to limit the power of the state against tyranny by the state towards the people. If you look at the African American history in the United States, the history is clearly dominated by sad things like slavery, lynching, apartheid, and the black community's path towards equal status. Now that the African American, along with other minorities, like the Japanese Americans who was put in encampment centers during World War II, one of the great FDR's biggest scandals who have not aged so well in his reputation, have finally acquired equal status in law. Many, including me, see a direct parallel that by going the road of disarmament and regulatory action towards the Second Amendment is to indirectly invite back latitude back for further oppression toward the prosecuted people in the long run. Without the Second Amendment and the impact it has giving the ordinary folks power to counter the government's oppression, there will be simply no reason for the police administration to fire the police who acted totally out of order in the movie. The people in the movie would have to simply rely on the correct moral judgment of the police administration. This is a biographical type of movie, so it doesn't push any agenda on its own. Maybe because the American public is so divided on these issues, but without a doubt, the central content around the movie is about guns, the police training, and the police brutality, mostly targeting minorities and black men for the most. Thank you for having been listening.